Alright champions, welcome back to HTML5 and CSS 3 part number 22 we're going to start with today. And let me give you the recap of what we learned yesterday. Yesterday we saw NOSCRIPT tag, which is a very important tag, and we saw script tag, which is a very important tag. We saw in-page styling, inline styling, we saw base styling, base tags, right? And different things, right? And today we are going to start with the slide number. So let me see where the slide is. My God, where is the slideshow? Right, I might have to restart it, right? So let me restart the slideshow and start back quickly as soon as possible. Yeah. So in this session, you will learn to working with style. We already learned these things. Background color, background image, and background is already learned. Yeah, this is something that we can use. Styles can be applied to a group, right? What is the selector 1 and selector 2? Right, for example, if I go to my let's say if I have this index page, right? And inside this index page I have let's say I have div ID wrapper and I have div ID content div. So what I can do, if I want to apply to both, I can apply this selector. I can say hash content div, and then I can say hash wrapper. Okay, so now this comma indicates I'm applying it to two things together. So I can say background red, right? So this property suggests that we are applying the same style to more than one selector. So that's why we say selector 1 comma selector 2, or it can be like this. If it's not an ID, it can be class wrapper or it can be name. For example, I'm applying the same styling to section and I'm applying the same styling to let's say section and aside. So that can also be done. Or I'm applying this styling to input type button and to submit. I'm applying this kind of style to button and submit. So this is also possible, right? What is this known as? Right, styles are grouped. So these are called grouped stylings. Now the second thing is styles are nested. Yeah, we can also supply nested styling, as I have already shown you. Nested styling can be that I am supplying it to header, but yeah, I am supplying it to the section inside the header. So this style will be applied to the section inside header. So this is called as nested styling. So the CSS visibility can be applied on HTML elements using the following properties: display and visibility. We've also seen this. Right, so display properties can be none, block, and inline. We've already seen, so no need to see. Yeah, now the position of a section or a position of a div can either be static, or it can be fixed, or it can be relative, and or it can be absolute. Absolute, we have seen static is it doesn't move, right? And I'll show you fixed today, right? So let me go ahead and go to the body and say that it has let's say we are using a div, so I call this div ID wrapper, and this is something that is going to wrap up. So I'll not go, because I'll be showing you position, so I'll not go for a different style, or we'll not go for a separate styling sheet here. I will apply the style here. So for that I'll use style tags and I'll write down style here. I'll say hash wrapper, right? And I can say that width is going to be 1100 pixels and minimum height is going to be 500 pixels. So this is what I can do right here, and yeah, it's here, right? So now we have wrapper here, and I'll say background is going to be hash FFF, which is white, and I'll say body is going to have background as something very light, right? So this is my pinky body, right? So I'll go with blue, or maybe bluish, something very light bluish, right, if it is possible, or maybe more dark or more light, so whatsoever. Since we are not going to do color combinations in this part of the lesson, right, so it will be of no use. So now this is my wrapper. So now I'll change my minimum width to 1500 pixels. Why? It has a reason. How do you get it to center? By just saying margin auto, but yeah, I'll give margin top 20 pixels, and then right, left, top, bottom, sorry, right, left and bottom is going to be auto margin, right? So now you can see from top it has 20, and then we have margin auto coming from all the sides. So I can say border, BORDER, border 1 pixels hash, maybe a bit darker than what it is, and solid as well. So I don't have to do this. Oh my god, it's too dark. I don't have to do this, but yeah, I just have to show you what is fixed, right? Okay, now we are done with this border. So now what I do, if I use a menu bar right here, so let me go ahead and choose a menu bar right here. Why do we require fix is what my question is, right? Or what I should have asked. Okay, so now I'll go to this wrapper and I'll say, hey, wait a second, I need a div, and I call this as top menu bar, right? You might have seen this, what I'm trying to do in many websites today. So this is my top menu bar. I'll say hash top menu bar, and what you got to do, hey, top menu bar, your width is going to be 100% and your height is going to be 150 pixels, rather 100 pixels, and your background is going to be something bluish, right? Why doesn't it come? Top menu bar width WID 100%. So div ID top menu bar is here, right? So I'll say WID is width. Height is 100 pixels. Background is this. Yeah, it should come. Why doesn't it come? My god. So let me just delete this wrapper. Yeah, it's coming here. So wrapper is overriding it, right? So I'll have to go and scroll it, right? So I forgot to scroll, so that's what is happening to me. Alright, so now this is my top menu. Just for the sake, let's consider this to be the top menu, right? And now what I do, I will say, hey, that your position is fixed. Alright. So now I fix the position, and now you can see that it can be scrolled. And now once I am scrolling, you'll see that it will not change. It will remain where it is. Alright. Similarly, if I do the same thing to, for example, my index.html. Okay, so we too have this top menu bar right here. Okay, so if I go to this index.html, what do you call the top menu bar as? Alright, so we have this here. Login. What do you call this? Okay. Top head, right? So we call this as top head. So I'll go to my CSS and I can say, hey, wait a section, right? So this is top head. Maybe we already styled it. Why am I again going for it? So yeah, this is top head, and I will say that you are going to have position fixed. So now if I fix the position here, now things may start doing wrong. So now when I scroll, you can see while scrolling it will remain where it is. Now you can clearly see I've set the position to fixed. Now we are scrolling underneath it, right? So yeah, other things are going to go worse, right? So what happens here is that this wrapper is going to come inside. So what I do here, I'll say wrapper margin top, I'll give 100 pixels because right now, okay, no, I need not to give this. So now let me say position fixed, so I can do something. So let me get rid of this WebKit, show articles. Now you can see that we're scrolling and it's fixed, right? And we have to do something with the wrapper, so I'll say margin, let me say margin top is 50 pixels, right? So what if I say margin top 50 pixels? Right, now you can clearly see margin top 50 pixels, right? Or I have to use it, let's say I have to use something underneath it, right? But yeah, that's not the issue. We are not going to learn that because we did not develop or we did not design this style considering fixed. But you can now see the moment we keep it fixed, right? So it is not going to go anywhere. It's going to remain fixed forever right here. So this is what the position fixed is. Now if you want to come on top, we already shown you on top means that position is absolute, right? When you want the div or any section to come on top of everything, cross all the boundaries, don't worry about boundaries and just be on top of everything, so then yeah, we set that to absolute, and then the position is set to absolute. And now this is our main site restored back, right? Because we had developed it without even considering that fixed div or sort of. Alright, so now we have seen this, right? And relative we'll also see and static we'll also see. So now the exact location of the HTML elements can be specified using the following positional properties. You can specify bottom, right? You can specify right, and you can specify z index. Z index is the visibility, right? And we can specify top, we can specify left. We know that there are 4 positions: right, left, top, and bottom, so that's already known to us. And then 2 other positions are z index and position. Position can be absolute, static, relative, and fixed, right? And z index, I suppose we have seen that in many classes, maybe, right? Previously also we saw that, right? If I'm not wrong, right? So what do you think? We have seen that, right, or not? Yeah, we have seen that z index, right? Okay, let me explain you more. For example, if in case I want this to come, or I mean, for example, we have 2 different things right here, right? So for example, I want this thing to come on top, another thing to come in, one thing to come on top of another thing. So only when the z index of the previous thing is more than that. So for example, if I show you, we have let's say I'll go to this test.html again, right? So now you have understood this is also position fixed. Now you understood there as well. So I'll just delete position fixed. I'll keep the wrapper, no need to keep top menu. Now we have the wrapper here, right? So now in case I go with a section, right, so the section is here, all right? Now, or we can see the same example. Oh my god, I can see the same example. Now see, now what is coming first? This is coming on top. That means this top div is coming on top, or we can say top menu bar is coming on top of every single thing, right? Now for example, we have something behind it. We have a wrapper behind it. Now if I increase the z index here, so I'll say, what if I decrease the z index, right, which is called the z index is a property. It specifies the stack order of an element, right? So stack is there, right? So we have to specify the stack order of an element. So I'll say 99, and I will go to wrapper and I will say, hey, your z index is going to be 999. So now you can clearly see wrapper has more z index than menu bar, hence the resulting it should, okay, now because the position is, had the position not been there, right, so we are going to see wrapper coming on top of it, right? So let me just, yeah, wrapper is not going to come because the position is more, because the position here is fixed, right? So now you can clearly see, right? Now the z index is more right here, okay, so it's going to come on top, right? So for example, if the z index of wrapper is more, so that is going to come first. If the z index of let's say let me go with 2 divs. For example, we have a wrapper here, so inside wrapper we have some other thing, right? So if you want that particular thing to come on top of the stack, so you will increase the z index of the same thing, right? For example, I have select, or I can say let's have section. So I'll have the section, right, and I'll say hello, right. So now I'll, instead of top menu, I'll go with section. I'll say width 100%, height 200%, background something. Okay, now let me see this. Now you can see, all right, hello is coming. So I will use section, which is hash a wrapper. So section is inside the wrapper div. We can clearly see we have a wrapper div and it has a section, right. Fine, now we have a section here, hello. Now if I say that z index of this section is going to be 99, right, and z index of wrapper is going to be 999. So what is going to happen here? So it's not happening because wrapper is, just a moment, so I'll have to design two more divs right here. For example, menu bar is there, or there are many situations wherein we are locked because of this property right here, right. Let me give the definition, because positional elements are position absolute, relative and fixed, right. So we have seen that also. For example, if I say position is absolute, right. So let me keep this. Okay, now the position is completely absolute and the z index applied is 990. It should go, and it should go behind it. So since it's not going behind it, right, so we are going to see that we have seen that in the past as well, if I'm not wrong. Alright, so we have seen that in the past as well, the z index property in the CSS, right. But yeah, in case we are facing the stacking problem is at this moment in time, so we are going to face that property problem, right. So unless we develop something unique, and for that maybe I'll have to go to something else. Do I have something here? No, we don't have. So index is here, and what if I increase the z index of this? Let me try doing it with the same here, right. Okay, I'll do it with top head, and I will say position fixed, right. So now we have position fixed. So once the position is fixed, now you can see it's coming on top of everything. Now if I want this image to come on top of this, so I will go to this image. What is this image known as? Right, so it is sidebar image, so width is 100%. Content div sidebar, so we have this, yeah, we have the sidebar image right here, and I will say, hey, your z index is going to be 9999, so I'm going to increase 9999 z index to you, alright, and by that, it's not coming. I just have to be more sure of why isn't this coming. So what if I increase the z index of the sidebar itself? Will this happen? No. Okay, top menu, I don't know. When it decides not to happen, it's not going to happen. So this is top head, right, and let us say the top head has the z index of 90, and still it's not going to happen, because it takes many different things into considerations, right. So that is the main problem. Z index 1, Z index 2, Z index 3, right, so it takes those things into consideration, right. So we have to understand it, right, or we have to, okay, let me show you a different example. Forget it, let's forget all here. So we have a wrapper and just a wrapper, and there's nothing inside this wrapper right here, right. So we have this div, and then inside this we have a span, and inside span we have a gold box, let's call this gold box, and we have another span, and let's call this as silver box. Alright, so we have two spans right here, And for that, position has to be related. They have to be related to each other, right? So we have to understand it. If I go to wrapper and I say, hey wrapper, your position is going to be, or let me not go to wrapper. Why am I going to wrapper? So let me have section, or we can have div id is equal to, I'll say in z index test. So this is going to be z index test div, right? Okay, let me quickly go to this z index test div and say, right, you should not try and make haze. The more you try and make haze, the more it elongates. I don't know why, but yeah, it is the funda of the life. So I will say position absolute. No, it's going to be position relative. It has to be relative to each other. So I'll say the position to relative, and I'll say, hey, your z index is 1. All right, I'll give you your index, right? So your border is dashed. All right, so I'll say you are having a dashed border. All right, your height is, let's say, about, if I want to give inch, I can say em, and width, okay, let's see, okay, that's it. I will go to test.html. Now you can see this is the gold box here, right? And if I say margin, let me give it margin of 20 pixels. So I don't mind giving you the margin of 20 pixels right here. Now this is fine. I can say 100 pixels of height, so that's also going to work, or maybe 140 pixels of height. That is also going to work, right? So now maybe let's have 200 pixels. So now inside this we have gold box now, right? I'll call this span class gold box, and here span class silver box. So I'll call gold box and I will call silver box, both of them. So I'll go ahead and say dot gold box, because it's a class. I will copy the same and say dot silver box. So let me style both of them now, gold box and silver box inside a div. So let me quickly go and style it. So gold box is position absolute. Now I'll say it has a position absolute, and silver green box also has a position absolute. Now both are having position absolute. So gold box has background as let's say background gold. All right, so I'll have background gold. Maybe it takes gold. Yeah, it takes gold. And we will say it has width. Okay, so I'll say is equivalent to 80%, or we can say width 80%. So let me see, it takes 80%, and height, it is going to take a height of let's say about anything that you want. So height is not an option here, so let's say height is equivalent to 50 pixels, right? So that's sufficient for you. Now we have this gold box here, all right, or maybe let's say 50% of height, so that's sufficient. And now we have silver here, so I'll say position absolute, and I'll say width. Width is going to be 50% again, right? And background here is going to be okay, so I'll say background is going to be silver. So does it take silver or not? Yeah, it takes silver. Now you can clearly see that silver box is here. So let me give margin left 200 pixels here. Now this is silver box and this is a golden box. So I'll say height is equivalent to 50 pixels. So I can say 80 pixels. So now we have made the platform here. Alright, so this is my silver box and this is my golden box. So now you can clearly see that silver box is coming on top of golden box because both are having width of 50%, right? So but here you can see silver box is coming on top of golden box. Why? So we'll have to see that as well. So I will go ahead and I will say, hey, wait a second. Alright, here's your z index is going to be, let's say, about 10, right? Or we can say your z index is going to be 3 gold, right? Your z index is going to be 3, and I will go to the silver and you'll see your z index is going to be 2. That's why this order of the stack. Now you can clearly see the goalposts have reversed. Now this golden box is coming on top of the silver box. If you want to reverse it, what is the z index of silver box? It's 2. Now that gold box should have, right, lesser than this, or it should have more than this, which means 4, right? So 4 is going to come on top of 3. So now this is it. So that is why I said in the beginning that, right, it is going to be, or we can say it is specifying, right, the what do you call that as the stack level of an element, right? Right, so it is going to define the stack level of an element in the same group. So that's what basically is the z index. So it took lots and lots of time. So float property, right? So float, already you know that we can float towards right, we can float towards left, that we have already known. We can use the clear property to clear both. You want to clear from left side or you want to clear formatting from right side. So clear can be used to clear the formatting if there is formatting that's already been applied and you want to clear that formatting. You can either use clear left or you can use clear right, and if you want to clear from both the sides, you can clear formatting from both the sides by using clear both. Which one of the following style sheet is used when multiple pages need to be styled in the same manner? What is the name? What style sheet would you use? Would you use external, browser, inline, or internal? So we are going to use what? External style sheet, right? Where we can say ahref is equivalent, or we can say external style sheet that we have already used here. So this is called as external style sheet. This is an external style sheet, right? Link relative, style sheet, href, right? So this is an external style sheet. Problem statement is there. Okay, so what is the solution? Create an external style sheet. Use this already done, so I'm not going to give you this assignment, right? So we have almost done with all, but I just want to make sure that you get that passing, criteria. You always pass examinations and you are able to answer the questions there as well, right? So you may not be able to answer them correctly if you cannot see them right here. So that's why I'm showing you. In this session you will learn to apply transitions, animations, and transformations. So we have already seen them as well. Transition is there, transition duration is there, transition delay we have seen, all we have seen. So CSS animation, okay, we have also seen at the rate of keyframe. Keyframe is not basically shown to you. I am going to show you the keyframe example as well. But before I show you keyframe, I want to show you some related examples, right? Okay, now. Right? So now we have animation delay. We have seen all of them, right? Right? So go back to the previous lecture and see that we have seen all in the animations. We have to see keyframe only, so that is only going to be delayed. So now we have CSS transformation, 2D transformations, and 3D transformation is pending. Scale, matrix, skew, rotate, and translate. So yeah, this is pending, that we can apply to images and videos. So that I'll show you. Rotate X and rotate Y is also pending. So that is what is coming in the next class. So translate, rotate. So why don't we make a list what is pending? So okay, I'll say notes. So we can open sticky notes and see what is pending. So okay, so let me go ahead and show you. At the rate of keyframe, right? So this is what we have not learned, right? Yeah, keyframe we have not learned. Keyframe property. Okay, let me take. Okay, so we have to use 2D transforms. So we can use 2D transform CSS. It's just all HTML. Yeah, we have to use rotate X and rotate Y. So it's one and the same topic, 2D animation transactions and 3D transactions, right? So I'll say 3D transformations, right? So so this is one the same thing. So okay, so this is basically a web page, so you can at least you'll be able to create something like this, right? So if not better than this, at least something like this. So we know this head and foot and caption. Which one of the following text specifies the content of the column of table? So you can say TH or TD. Okay, we're talking of this, so I'll show you that also, no problem. Okay, so now we have this table right here. So if I go ahead and I design a table, all right, so I'll say table, and we know the table has table, something that repeats in a table. But yeah, if you want an header, so you can go with TH. If you want to have a common header in the table, right? So I can have this, for example, and then we can have TD inside that common header. For example, this is going to be name. I'll say another TD, right? In the header, this is going to be roll number, right? And another TD we can have inside the class, and we may call this as, right, class. Now this is going to be the table header. So you can clearly see this header right here. If I show you this, okay, now you can see it's coming as a header now, right? So it has nothing to do with the number of rows and columns that it is going to have. For example, if I say cells padding 10, cell spacing 10, now I can say right here another TD in a TH, and I call this as serial, right, number, right? Now I can have as many TDs as I want. So one TD, TD closed, another TD, TD closed. Now I can say first TD is going to be Fahim, right, and I can say another TD, it is going to be first is going to be 1, and then it's going to be name, and then it's going to be a roll number. So I'll say 00D97001. Right, so I can now say another thing. Can say class is going to be 12, or whatever, something. Now you can go ahead, not TD, sorry, it's a table row, a row. So now I can have as many rows as I want, right? So I can have second, I can have third row, right? I can use Boomin, right? And I'll use it 2, and I can use right here Umar, right? So I can use 3, right? And whatever, right? So I can say 11th, and he can be 10th, right? But the table header will remain consistent, it will not change. Now you can see header remains there, and now everything else is coming in a table, right, nicely and pretty nicely, right? Okay, instead of roll number I've given class, instead of serial number I've given something else. I don't know what am I doing here, right? Serial number is there, so that is the first thing that we supply. The second number is name, and then we have roll number, then we have class right here. So now you can see 1, 2, 3, so you are supplying it. So maybe we have to supply one more thing, 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? So maybe there's something wrong, so we'll take a look at that later. But you can clearly see that we are having header being defined separately here. So if I go to a TH and I say, hey, style background is going to be #CCC, now you can see it will be only applied to the header right here, right? You clearly see the complete table header, right? Or you can apply it to the table divisions, right? So header can have divisions and table rows can have divisions, but we can have only one header, and remaining table rows can be as many as you want. So that's what the question is. Which one of the following text specifies the content of the columns of the table? Now it specifies the content, what content does the columns have, not the rows. That is of course going to be the table division tag, that is TD tag, right? So the solution is TD, right? So I'll go ahead. Okay, let me see the timings. Okay, we still have some good amount of time, so let me go ahead and open this. Right, access multiple web pages by using frames. Yeah, I'll have to show you frames as well. So for example, I want to access this web page in this web page. For example, I have, let me show you this web page right here. So just delete this table, and I want to access the previous web page, which is this web page, index.html. I want to access this web page in here. So let me just correct the styling here. Is it still fixed? Alright, so now I want to access this page, this web page here in this web page, which is test.html. Alright, so now how do you access it? Just like we accessed the YouTube videos, I can say iframe, right, and I can use source. I can say source of iframe is going to be index, so please display. And now it's about the properties of the iframe that we are going to use. So this iframe closes down here. Now you can clearly see that we are getting it here. Alright, now it depends on the width and the size and whether it uses scrolling. So I can say width 100%. It says okay, I'm going to use 100% width. I'll say height is going to be 100%. 100% height is not taken, but yeah, you can give it. Now you can see that you are using this web page with scroll bars. So I can see this is your web page, which is something else, and this is the second web page. So if you don't want scroll bars, what you can do, I'll say scrolling, so you'll say no. You can apply no scrolling so that you don't get scroll bars. Now you can say that it's coming clearly. And if you don't want any border, you can say we can say no, or we can say border, frame border 0. So I don't want any frame border, which is here. I don't want it. Now you can say it looks like the complete website. Doesn't look like a frame, rather it looks like a complete website. Now why do we use it? I'll show it tomorrow, that the main usage of this iframe. Alright, but yeah, it has to occupy the complete height, so that's why I should instead use height is equivalent to 700 pixels. I'll style it because I have to style it in CSS. Now you can see, okay, I'll say 900 pixels. Now you can see that you have used iframe, right? So using this website right here, or you can use scroll bars as well. Right, and now we can have a common menu bar, right, and which we can inherit in each and every HTML static page, so that we don't have to recreate it. For example, now we are learning how to create a web page. What if tomorrow we happen to learn how to create a website, and in the website we have to use common? For example, why do I require to recreate this top head menu bar? No, I don't have to. I want this to be available with each and every page of mine, right? So I'll make an iframe and then call it through iframe, so that we are reusing something at least in the website. So iframe is used for reusabilities. And what properties does your slides refer to? Right, access multiple web pages by using frames. And now padding is there, border is there, text line is there, color is there, height is there, background color, width, and border collapse. And these are CSS properties of enhancing tables, right? And which one of the CSS properties used to set the color of the border and text in a table, right? So we have to set the color of border. Which of the CSS properties is used to set the color of border and text in a table? So border and text, what property would you use, right? You get your time, so that is going to be color, because in anything other than color is not going to set. Background dash color, right? Color dash red. So color properties used. Okay, now we have already done it. So an iframe is a rectangular region in a browser. We have already seen iframe, and we'll see that iframe, right? And we'll see, yeah, scrolling has already set to no border. We have already set padding and margin is also there. Padding and margin is everywhere. Seaming, height. I'll show you a few more properties of iframe, right? Just let me take a look at time. So we'll just break for 10 minutes so that we break fast and come back again and re-record. So today's lesson is going to be approximately 50 minutes for you. So I'll re-record and come back. See you then. Alright, we're back after breaking the fast. Now let's get started and resume the class. Alright, so what we were seeing is iframe. For example, I'll show you something else. Just a moment. So I'll show you something else regarding the iframe, right? So for example, if you want to import a website, for example, if I say iframe, right, source is equal to, let me say https://niitsrinagar.com. So you don't know what is the height and what is the width of the website, since you have no idea about that, right? So if I import that site, you can see that site is going to be imported in this iframe right here, right? Okay, now you can see the import process has started and it is going to display the website, right? Now, so but since you don't have any idea of how long the website is going to be, right, in case if you want that site to automatically fit, not only the site, if you want any particular web page to automatically fit in here, what you are going to do, I'll show you a different thing for that today, right? So for example, I delete everything right here. So let me delete all, title and all the body tags. So now what I have is only the HTML tag. HTML starts here and gets closed here, and I have this meta char set, right? So now what I do, I have another meta tag which is information regarding information. I will say, hey meta, right, I say your name is going to be viewport. So this is here viewport, right? So I will say that the content width, so you can see, right, I will say content is equivalent to width of the device, whatever the width is, present. All right, so we'll say width is equivalent to device dash width. I want to fit in automatically to my width device. So initial scale is equivalent to 2. So initially scale it as per the complete site. So now I am applying this. Now if I go ahead with a frame set, right, so I can go with so we have something known as frame set here, right, and I'll say, hey frame set, I require within you an iframe. All right, so inside a frame set I require a frame. Previously we saw iframe, so now I am showing you frame. So I require a frame, right, and the name of this frame is going to be, let's say anything, bottom or top frame or whatever you name it. So naming is not important right here, and I will say source of the frame is going to be https niitsrinagar.com, right? And it is basically let's say about self-closing tags. I'll self-close it. Now if I open it, now you will see, okay, now that the website is completely adjusted. Now you can see complete website has been scaled right here. So now you can see that I'm running this complete website. Alright, you can clearly see in a frame, not an iframe, but it's an HTML5 frame. So this frame has the complete website. Now you can see test.html is the the URL of the website. Alright, and we can apply some more properties to the frame. For example, I want my frame set, I don't want any border. So I'll say border 0, right? I don't want any border. And I'll say how many rows do you want? I'll say 100%, right? And how many columns do you want? I'll say adjust it accordingly, 100%. This can also be applied, right? So I can apply rows and columns as well. So let me refresh. Now you will see it will not have any borders, right? So borderless frame. So now you can see the complete website has been called, and the complete website fits in here, right? And in the frame set we can apply some more properties, right? And like we can say frame border, we can apply frame border. I don't require any frame border, Alright, and then I can go to the frame. Alright, I say scrolling. I don't want scrolling. I'll say no. Alright, I don't want websites to scroll. I want them to scroll as per my own scroll here. I don't want internal scrolls here. So that thing can also be done. When you say scrolling no, now you can see it has prohibited scrolling right here. So it doesn't allow a scroll now, right? You can see. Alright, so that is the feature of iframe. But yeah, in case if you require scrolling, I'll say scrolling is equal to yes. And this scrolling yes is actually by default set to yes. Scrolling is set to yes by default, right? Alright, and if you don't want to resize it, so I can apply another property to the frame, that is no resize, right? So that property can also be applied. Now you'll have the complete website fitting in your available area. Now you can see the frame has adjusted as per the scale of the website. So that's what this viewport is going to do for you, right? If I refresh again, alright, so it does the same, right? Okay, so there are many different things that, okay, let me just wind it up. Alright, so I suppose you have got it now. Right, I don't have to show you anything else, right? So this was iframe. So let me go back to the slideshow and see scrolling, margin, border and padding is all done, right? So this was iframe, and do practice this and do try and import some websites and try and scale them to the width and the height automatically, and do practice hard, right? I wish you all the best, and I will see you in the next lecture tomorrow, inshallah. Until then, do practice hard, remember me in your prayers, and wish you happy Ramadan. Bye bye, take care.